sort of company, so he goes in there as well. But 1, 4 and 2 looks a pretty good trio to me.
I've gone with the 1 as well on top here, Werther. I thought he paraded absolutely superbly here today. Obviously, that blood in the trachea is a bit of a concern from last time, but he is well drawn. He's the highest rated horse in the race, and I would expect him to be really quite competitive once again. The 2, Blazing Speed, looks really well. The 8-year-old, he's holding his condition beautifully. He's dropped 4 pounds since the last time he raced. He's been not far off winning, and he won it last year in a head bobber, so he might be able to do it again. The 6, Helene Charisma, looks good. He's yet to win in Hong Kong, but the horse looks particularly fit, slightly warm, but other than that, I liked his fitness level, and he's a Group 1 winner overseas in St. Cloud, actually, so he's more than capable. And then the 4, Eagle Way, misbehaved. I think it was because he basically got a fright and it sort of set him off a little bit, but that late parade of his was really quite good. Back to normal, just licking those fetlocks when he walked. He's a very fit, healthy looking horse going into this as well. So 1, 2, 6 and 4 for me.
All right, arriving down at the start, still a couple of minutes away. There's Basic Trilogy on screen. We'll just take another quick check of the markets. The final couple of betting minutes still to go, Paul.
Yes, it is, and $2 now for Eagle Way. He's on the drift. He's now odds against it. Werther's been steady the whole way through at 3.1. Blazing Speeds, he's 11. The 14 did look a bit high for how come in $7 to your place. Charisma's at 7.3. Gold has drifted back out to 7. 50 designs on Rome and well over 100. The likely pacemaker in the race, Basic Trilogy.
And there he is, Basic Trilogy. Looks like he'll be the last to arrive down at the start. So we shouldn't forget, though, Joe was very positive, wasn't he, on Eagle Way a couple of starts back when he wasn't happy with the pace and kicked on a long way from home to try and make it into a real test.
Well, that's true, and because we've got a very small field here as well, there's always a chance that there is going to be a move made just to upset the apple cart as such, and we see it on numerous occasions, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was to happen here today as well. It's a shame we've only got the 7 runners here, but you know, a lot of those other horses like Denozo and Prawn Barber, those sort of horses, if they go in off their rating and they run a 5th or something, they go up a lot of points, so it's difficult.
Yeah, it was a real good stoush, wasn't it, between Eagle Way and Beauty Generation, that race a couple of starts ago. As Andrew said, he had to make his own luck in the end, Eagle Way, and he almost managed to get the job done. It was a really tremendous effort in defeat, and there he is, and he's back into odds on again now, $1.90. Joe Moreira, of course, had a terrific afternoon already and looking for a 4th win on the card.
And of mid-race move, a bit of a stretch and a leap of faith, but Designs on Rome, yeah. He gets carried out on his shield more than not, doesn't he? And wouldn't be surprised to see him take off at the 800 either. Well,
he's capable too, yeah. if he's right. That's the big query. I mean, we haven't seen the best of him for quite some time now. If he's right, we know what sort of finish he's got and how much sort of sustainability in a finish he's got as well. So it'd be great to see the real designs back.
Well, if they're messing around tactically, Sam Clipperton may well just do that. You know, about sort of between the 8 and the 600, just let him go. He's won races like that. And in fact, the old boy, his first run this season over 1600 was a very good effort, and he won. He looked like he was just about the kind of level he's always been at these last few seasons, but since then it's all not been quite at that sort of level, and well, let's hope he can give a good account of himself this afternoon.
Were Blazing Speed to win, he'd equal Veal Pataga in being a 3-time winner of this race. That puts him into rare company indeed. Werther, of course, would be winning here in Hong Kong for the first time over the 2,400 metres. But I suppose would it then, if assuming he was an impressive winner, opens up his prospects for next year, looking ahead to International Day?
Quite possibly, and possibly overseas as well.
Absolutely.
Maybe Spring Carnival.
Yeah.
In Melbourne.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. He's certainly a horse with plenty of options either here or elsewhere, and he ran a very good race last time out in the QE2. Things didn't really go his way, and he was still battling on there at the finish, and the 2,400 is right up the street here.
With Helene Charisma, whether his attitude's been called into question, I'll call it into question. He hasn't got any headgear on.
Yeah, well, he's got the tongue tie,
yeah.
But yes, nothing else, which is interesting. And the fact that he did want to lay in last time, I wonder whether they've changed the bid on him as well. They've more than likely done that, I'm guessing. But he just needs to learn to straighten up a little bit. And because he's an end-tire, he can be a bit bossy.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps, and Brett was absolutely right. It was a hint of a kind of rushed preparation for the Derby for this horse, and sometimes, a lot of the times, these horses that come from Europe, they just need a little bit of a time to settle in, and we don't see the best of them until after a good few runs, and he might be one of those.
Here we go. Favourite Eagle Way back into $1.80. No real moves outside of him. The light is flashing. The 7 runners are stepping forward for the Standard Chartered Champion Air Traders Cup with Eagle Way, our favourite, Brett.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Yes, the 7 runners are starting to be loaded into the gates here at Sha Tin for our feature race of the day. Final Group 1 of the season over the 1.5 miles, 2,400 metres. Won't take too long to load them. Basic Trilogy, Designs on Rome, Gold Mount, Eagle Way and Helene Charisma. John Moore with 5 runners, Tony Cruz with 2. Blazing Speed looking to win his 3rd Champions and Chader. All set to go. Favourite Eagle Way at $1.90, and they're off and running in the Standard Chartered Champions and Chader Cup. And Basic Trilogy stepped beautifully, as did the 8-year-old Blazing Speed, who's quickly into 2nd position. Werther was away nicely down on the rail. And Gold Mount began quite well today. He's going to settle in 4th position early, trailed by Helene Charisma. Designs on Rome, and Eagle Way from barrier number 7, Joe Moreira, has snagged him back to the tail end of the field. They come down past the judge with a circuit to go here at Sha Tin, and the leader is Basic Trilogy, striding by 2 lengths to Blazing Speed. 2 further back to Werther, who's now in 3rd position. The first 3 are an Indian file. Make that the first 4 now as Gold Mount gets into a similar type of position. Then Helene Charisma from Designs on Rome, who's able to stick with them in the early stages of the race today. And Eagle Way is settled at the tail of the field. They're inside the mile marker, and Basic Trilogy, as most expected, is showing the way. Leads by 2.5 lengths over Blazing Speed, looking for his 3rd Champions and Chader this afternoon. 2 further back to the reigning Horse of the Year, Werther, in 3rd position, as the leader ups the ante somewhat. 2 further back then to Gold Mount, 2.5 further away then to Helene Charisma from Eagle Way, and 2 last of all is Designs on Rome. They are in single file. There's 15 lengths from top to bottom. They've gone inside the halfway point, and Basic Trilogy striding by 3.5 lengths to Blazing Speed. 2 further back to Werther, who settled nicely in the run. Now Gold Mount comes off the rail, allowing Eagle Way to improve to the inside. Helene Charisma and Designs on Rome is at the tail end of the field, and now there's only 6 lengths from top to bottom as Basic Trilogy runs inside the 800 in the Standard Chartered Champions and Chader Cup at 2017. 2.5 clear. Blazing Speed has been stalking all the way. Werther, Bowman now pulls him out 3 deep to put in his run. Eagle Way's been creeping through nearer the rail as the race hots up. Then Gold Mount, Designs on Rome. Helene Charisma is the trailer. They're into the straight, and Neil Callan lays his cards on the table as he takes on Basic Trilogy. But Werther is right up to the task, and he sweeps to the lead, getting past Blazing Speed. Deeper out Eagle Way, then Gold Mount, Helene Charisma inside the furlong. Werther bloke clear from Blazing Speed, then Eagle Way. But Werther, the Horse of the Year, is roaring away with the Champions and Chader from Blazing Speed and Eagle Way. How sweet it is, Werther. Werther wins by 2.5. Maybe Eagle Way second over Blazing Speed. A long gap away, Helene Charisma, Gold Mount, Designs on Rome and Basic Trilogy. Werther showing his true power today on a good to firm track. Defeats Eagle Way and Blazing Speed. Helene Charisma a distant 4th. 5 wins from 11 starts now for Werther. The 5-year-old by Tavistock out of the Zabeel mare Bag of Lollies. John Moore, Hugh Bowman. Possibly Eagle Way second over Blazing Speed. There's very little in that. Helene Charisma a distant 4th from Gold Mount, then Basic Trilogy and Designs on Rome. But Werther travelled very comfortably in the run. He had the score on the board at set weights, and he has annihilated them. Fantastic performance. A Derby winner, a QE2 Cup winner, now a Champions and Chader Cup winner. Werther. Blazing Speed. All set to go. Favourite Eagle Way at $1.90, and they're off and running in the Standard Chartered Champions and Chader Cup, and Basic Trilogy stepped beautifully, as did the 8-year-old Blazing Speed, who's quickly into second position. Werther was away nicely down on the rail. And Gold Mount began quite well today. He's going to settle in fourth position early, trailed by Helene Charisma. Designs on Rome, and Eagle Way from barrier number 7, Joe Moreira, has snagged him back to the tail end of the field. They come down past the judge with a circuit to go here at Sha Tin, and the leader is Basic Trilogy, striding by 2 lengths to Blazing Speed. 2 further back to Werther, who's now in third position. The first 3 are an Indian file. Make that the first 4 now as Gold Mount gets into a similar type of position. Then Helene Charisma from Designs on Rome, who's able to stick with them in the early stages of the race today. And Eagle Way is settled at the tail of the field. They're inside the mile marker, and Basic Trilogy, as most expected, is showing 2 over Blazing Speed, looking for his third Champions and Chater this afternoon. 2 further back to the reigning Horse of the Year, Werther, in third position, as the leader ups the ante somewhat. 2 further back then to Gold Mount, 2.5 further away then to Helene Charisma from Eagle Way, and 2 last of all is Designs on Rome. They are in single file. There's 15 lengths from top to bottom. They've gone inside the halfway point, and Basic Trilogy striding by 3.5 lengths to Blazing Speed. 2 further back to Werther, who settled nicely in the run. Now Gold Mount comes off the rail, allowing Eagle Way to improve to the inside. Helene Charisma and Designs on Rome is at the tail end of the field, and now only 6 lengths from top to bottom as Basic Trilogy runs inside the 800 in the Standard Chartered Champions and Chater Cup at 2017. 2.5 clear. Blazing Speed has been stalking all the way. Werther, Bowman now pulls him out 3 deep to put in his run. Eagle Way's been creeping through nearer the rail as the race hots up. Then Gold Mount, Designs on Rome. Helene Charisma is the trailer. They're into the straight, and Neil Callan lays his cards on the table as he takes on Basic Trilogy. But Werther is right up to the task, and he sweeps to the lead, getting past Blazing Speed. Deeper out Eagle Way. Then Gold Mount, Helene Charisma inside the furlong. Werther bloke clear from Blazing Speed. Then Eagle Way. But Werther, the Horse of the Year, is roaring away with the Champions and Chater from Blazing Speed and Eagle Way. How sweet it is, Werther. Werther wins by 2.5.
Certainly does. Very little doubt about that. It was a really authoritative display, and it was tight for second, but in the end Blazing Speed has now got a second in this race to put on his CV with his 2 wins as well, so good effort from him.
Look, he put up a fine performance, didn't he? In fact, on the line there, I thought he had just got beaten for that second position, but not to be. So he's picked up the second prize money there, $2.2 million.
After a victory like that, it was a tremendous performance. Some horse who, of course, won the Hong Kong Gold Cup earlier on this season as well, so he's won 2 legs of the Triple Crown this season, and he's been pretty close in defeat the times he hasn't been in front either. So he's had a fantastic season, and this is really the icing on the cake. And we were talking earlier on about where he might go after this. Well, we'll look with bated breath as to what might happen next year as far as either going abroad or staying here. Just through those dividends, Paul, the winner, he's returned a very nice price.
He definitely has. $30.50 and $13, $19.50 for second, $11 there for third. The Quinella 1 and 2, $88.50. The Trio 1, 2, 4, $58. 1, 2, 4, $314. Quinella places 1 and 2, $29.50. 1 and 4, $16, and 2 and 4, $30, and the class prevails.
Certainly did. Eagle Way, he was quite a long way back in the run. The sectional times are interesting here, Jenny, because they went pretty slow first up, but all the while Derek Leung aboard Basic Trilogy was just quickening it up, and in the end they went a pretty solid gallop, and that's probably suited Werther, probably suited Eagle Way as well, but Werther had first run on him.
He did, and he had to come 3 wide just coming around that home turn, but Hugh obviously knew that there was a strong enough engine underneath him, because I like the way he just pinned the ears back, and he really got to the line really strongly. It was like he was very, very determined to win. And where he goes from here, well, we've got Andrew Lejeune down there and Edward Sadler to find out what they might have in plan.
Indeed, yep, there's Hugh Bowman giving his trusty partner a kiss. More kisses going on here all over the place today. And he just hops back on board for all the obligatory photographs. They have now weighed in as well. We'll bring you all the rest of the dividends very shortly. This fella, of course, he came with the Hong Kong Derby in mind for last year. He won that, and then he won the Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup. He couldn't win this race last year.